Hi guys, it's the Forgetful Scholar, and let's chat about books. Yes, books this week. I actually had time to do 2 books this week, so yay for me. Okay, so first one is FM sci-fi, contemporary, paranormal, alien romance. Now, if you've watched the other videos before, you probably have a good clue who I'm going to talk about. So this is Mean Right Hook. It's part of the, what's it called? Mean Right Hook, The Fever Brothers Book 1 by Michele Mills. I had to look at my notes because it doesn't have like the subtitle on this, but I like that cover. And you see like the guy has like a little bit of fangs over here, so that's cool. Okay, so this is a novella. I do like Michele Mills. Sometimes some of her books, I don't like them so much that they live rent-free in my head, because sometimes their heroes do crazy things. But anyway, so this one is, in my head I call it day one at a new job. Because it's basically, this book spans 2 days. Just 2 days. And I know it's a novella, and I know this writer is very quick and very fast with their stories, but usually it spans more than just 2 days. You know what I mean? So that was a surprise. So we follow Leia Hernandez. She's a human from New Earth, and this is still within the universe of Monsters Love Curvy Girls. I think this is before, because the writing, you could tell where the writer improved a little bit, you know what I mean? So I enjoyed it. It was fine. It was a 3 stars. So Leia, or Leah, I'm just gonna say Leia because I feel like it. Okay. She's been studying, and we don't really find out what she's been studying for a while. Still don't know what she was studying, but she's like top of her class, and she's going for a very coveted internship at a mining company in the planet Tumber, and it's the Xylons aliens. So it's not the red aliens. These are the other aliens that were in the red alien universe. Usually the humans were on their planet because they're, more friendly to humans and things like that, and that's where they met them. But anyway, so it opens up, and it's her first day at the job. First day internship, we find out that she is an orphan, and she's like very independent, doing it herself, gonna have a great career, screw anybody that's in her way kind of thing. And I'm like, I like her. And the first like couple pages, we see that yes, she's really self-sufficient, but she's also a kind person, you know what I mean? Because her tour guide, or like the person basically showing her the ropes on her first day, they have a family emergency, and they're like, oh, but I can't leave you on your first day. And Leia's like, no, your sister needs you. Please go. I'll be fine. I studied the maps. Really, really go. Your sister needs you. So I love that, because we see, boom, she's very self-sufficient. She didn't have anybody to lean on, so she had to take care of herself. But it's not at the cost of other people. So I'm like, oh, okay. First 5 pages also have a huge sense of who you are, clear sense of who you are, and I like that. And this author does that very well, because I have read books that are longer, like 300 pages, best-selling authors that I like the book, but still at the end of it, had no idea who the female or male hero really are in the essence. You know what I mean? So I like that. Boom, we get to know who she is. And we get to know some more of the Xylon culture. Like, she has to wear gloves, because if you, when Xylons touch hands, kind of made me think of Vulcans and their Vulcan kiss or whatever, they kind of know if they're compatible or not. So it's really taboo for an unmated male or female to not wear gloves, because you don't want to accidentally mate compatibility someone without their consent. So I thought that was fascinating. We get a little history into like their power source, because that's where the mine is, and their crystals. I would have liked a little bit more, because I'm a whore for lore, so I would like more, always. But So that's interesting. And then her partner, his nickname is the Hook because he has a mean right hook that can knock anybody out. So with that setup, I thought there was going to be a brawl at one point where we see him knock somebody out. I mean, we see him knock somebody out, but it wasn't. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect how, like, who and why. I was like, oh, okay. I thought it would be like an alien thinks the human is like their toy and tries to take her away from him and he knocks him out. But no, that's not how this went. Okay, anyway. So they're going down in the she's going down the elevator. It stops. Hook jumps on the elevator. His name is Saxon. He jumps on the elevator to go down to the level. You know, and she's like insta-lust. Ooh, which this writer does. She does insta-lust a lot, but they also kind of stop, like they're attracted to each other right away, but something always gets in the way, so they have to like get to know each other. This one not so much. That's why I think this has to be like an earlier, I think this is an earlier series of theirs. The power goes out, the elevator stuck. Classic, right? And but we love classics, you know, for a reason. So she has a panic attack because she has past trauma of claustrophobia and fear of the dark. And like when she explains where it's from and why she thought she beat it, you're like, okay, yeah. And also when I was reading, I was like, well, of course you have to be like freaked out. Classic romance trope. I don't hate it. Let's do this. Okay. Doggy noises. Okay, he knows he's not supposed to be doing that, but all right. Anyway, wait, where was I? Oh yes. So, and then the elevator drops, and it kind of reminded me of, you guys remember that old action movie, Speed, like the first scene with the elevator that drops and like everything. That's what kind of made me think of. So I was like, you know, and during it, see, because Xylons, touch is how they find if they're compatible with somebody. Not his family, though. They're built different. They could smell it. So he smells that this is his mate, and he's trying to convince her. And she's like, bro, this is my first day at work. You're my supervisor. I don't want to get fired. And I have a year left of school. I want to graduate. I want to get a good job. And if I do poorly here, I'm going to be stuck out at this one mining outpost that, like, when she mentions it, he flinches. So I guess it's really, really bad. You know what I mean? And he's trying to explain, like, no, you know, you could get a special dispensation and finish school here. And, you know, and she's like, you know, so there was a lot of conversation, like, right off the bat. And I do like, in her POV, she's freaking out a bit. Like, she's attracted to him. Something primal in her is happy about this. But the rest of her is like, fuck no, I have a plan and no one's getting in my way. You know, so I like that, at least for a little bit internally, she's like, no. Now, when the elevator drops and jolts, conveniently, her glove falls off. Because he didn't have his glove on because he has to make the stones glow. He needs to touch them because he's bonded to them. And they touch hands. And that sends her into a mating frenzy. So I was like, okay. So, you know, and I'll let you guys, if you guys plan to read out the whole mating ceremony and stuff. So they're married, basically, and then it goes to the next day because he has a huge family, and I think this is after her alien bounty hunters story, because he mentioned his older brother's a bounty hunter, and I think I'm gonna look for that book because I think there's kind of background for this family that I didn't know about that's in that book, so I want to check that out because there wasn't a lot of backstory from the, like, you know, last time on the brothers adventure, this is what happened. There wasn't really a lot of that. There's a little hit here and there, like, okay, he married a beauty queen, the older brother married a human, okay, but we don't really get a lot. I feel like I'm talking really fast. This is what happens when I film right after my morning coffee. I'm like, caffeine high, let's go. Okay, so I kind of want to check that out. But apparently the brothers are on the worst compound in this world for some reason. Like something happened. I don't know. And he has a lot of brothers. I think like 9 or 7. I don't know. There's a lot of brothers. And they show up the next day. 'Cause, they went back to her apartment and it's the next day. And then she meets the rest of her family, which are a couple card characters. So I was like, okay, they must have their own books. I'm gonna, check those out. Now the Hook nickname comes in when he like punches his brother out with one hit, and the other brothers don't even like phase. So I don't know if this is just like a brother thing, or this is just supposed to be like, oh no, this is their thing. They're fine with it. Like this family specifically, I don't know, I don't know, whatever. But no one seemed to care that the human was like, I can't believe you just did that, but everyone else is like, eh. So I guess the brother kind of overstepped. I don't know. So that's how we see that his nickname is correct, the Hook. And I was like, all right, that's a little, I expected that to come up in a different way, but okay. So literally this book is 2 days. 2 days. She moves to a different planet, starts a new job, like internship that she really wants to, do well at, to place in a higher job position later. She meets the alien of her dreams. She gets married and gets impregnated. 2 days. And I was like, girl, you need, like, holy crap, that's a busy 2 days. Like, so that was that one. That really fast. Maybe a little too fast. I don't know. But like I said, 3 stars. I enjoyed it. So this one. Now, when I was looking for this one on Kindle, I was like, I specifically looked up single mom romances just because I don't think I've read any. And I was like, I'm in the mood. I want to see what's out there for that, So I came across FM Contemporary. I know. No paranormal, no alien, just plain old humans. Crazy, right? So this is The Seal Endgame, Book 1, Guarding the Single Mom by Leslie North. Well, I mean, it's a nice cover, Okay. So, this was also a 3 stars, and the main guy is Clint, and he's an ex-Navy SEAL, of course, and he runs a gun range out in Nevada, because it's outside of Vegas, so Nevada, and the single mom is, oh man, their names are really similar. No wonder I was having trouble distinguishing, okay, the single mom's name is, Layla. Okay. The single mom's name is Layla. Again, like really similar, so my brain's like, okay, no wonder I kept confusing these 2 stories. Okay. Now this one I consider mistakes were made, and this is a 3-star one. So, and her son is named Thomas, and he's like 18 months. Now her ex-husband, abusive gang activity in jail. When he was in jail, she got a divorce because she wasn't gonna, she wanted to protect her baby. Totally understandable. And no one told her he got out on good behavior. So I say that because he's a piece of shit the whole time. So she goes to the gun range to protect herself. And a pleasant surprise is that she is Puerto Rican. And as someone who's half Puerto Rican, I was like, oh, hello. Oh, this is fun. Oh, yeah, let's do this. I haven't read a book where the woman is, like, I've read a couple where they're Hispanic, but this is the first one I read where specifically Puerto Rican. I was like, oh, okay. So I got really excited about that. She's a dental hygienist, and she's doing the best she can. And she's a really good mom and all that stuff. And Clint is like the classic brooding, solitary hero. He was in foster care and he doesn't really make attachments well. It was okay. It was cute. I would have liked, and this is weird coming from me, more like mundane, every slice of life pieces. But I would have liked Clint and Thomas to bond a little bit, because he thinks like Thomas is a cute kid, and here and there you see flashes of maybe they hung up off page. But I would have liked just a little more cuteness in that way. Because there's something about reading a book where the guy's big bad warrior is like cute little fluff when a kid's involved. You know, there's just something about that. Um, Man, she's all over the place though. And I get it's a stressful situation, you know. Um, but they both of them definitely let their insecurities run the day. And I was kind of surprised because they're both like adults, you know, like established adults. Um, you know, I think she's in her mid-20s, so okay, but she's like a mom, had, you know, pulled herself out of an abusive relationship, has a career that she loves, you know what I mean? Like, she just felt like an older character to be making these kind of, or at least more mature character to be making these sort of really immature mistakes. And him, like, this is his second career. He was a Navy SEAL and now he's out of it. And I think he's like in his 30s. So again, like a little, I was just like, I'm kind of surprised how much like the insecurities were working on them. And I guess that happens, but I was just like, I don't know. It surprised me, you know, because one moment they both seem very mature and the next moment not so much. And again, I liked it. It was fine. I'm going to check out other books from this writer. I did see what Brandy reads. Oh, I adore her. What she was talking about, how I don't know how old this writer is or how many books they've written. And this is fun. Like, the pace is great. The action is great. I love how in the end the mom like sticks up for herself. All really good. But there was just something about it that just seemed more like sex focused than emotional focused. Like, it was almost there. Like, maybe a chapter or two, and I would have felt like they had more of emotional connection than what they did. It seemed a little like fast forward pace because we didn't really see day-to-day life because to keep her safe, her and Thomas move in with Clint to keep them safe from the ex who has like gang connections and everything like that, which I was like a little tropey, but sometimes a trope is fun, so it's okay. But it's sort of like fast forwards. Like, it's like, oh, we've been living here 2 weeks. I was like, no, though. But wait, though. I want to see those 2 weeks. Can we see those 2 weeks? Can we see a couple of days in those 2 weeks? Can we establish you guys are, like, making a connection other than, like, oh, he's fucking hot. Oh, she's hot. She's gorgeous. You know, just, like, something a little more substantial. Because it did feel very, like, oh, fast forward 2 weeks and then, like, they have sex. And I was like, wait, I read romance for like the romance. If I just wanted sex, porn exists. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, and it was just like, it just felt like there was the cusp. Like, it was on the cusp of them forming an established emotional connection that you could feel through the page. Like, it was almost there. It was so close. It was like just maybe one more chapter or one more just one more meal together, something, you know what I mean? So it was really, really close. That's why I'm going to check out more of their books, because this also could be a first novel thing, you know what I mean? That's fine, you know. And there was something that really bothered me. Because through the whole book, she's Puerto Rican. She calls her mom in Puerto Rico once a week. She says, she internally calls herself Chica. I completely got that she was Puerto Rican. It felt like the last page, the last paragraph, someone was like, oh, she doesn't really read Puerto Rican, because there was just like an influx of Puerto Rican in like the last page. And I was like, whoa, I totally, yeah, you read Puerto Rican to me. In fact, you kind of reminded me of my cousin. Like, you don't have to, it just felt like someone else was like, hey, you need to put more. And they listened, which, I mean, if you trusted that person, I get it. But like, I don't think your book needed it. I think she read Puerto Rican to me. Like, I mean, it was fine. So that, like, and I'm not even mad at the author for that. I'm not even really mad about it. I'm like, oh, yeah, I think you listened to the wrong, I don't know. that it felt like an outside influence in that. And I was like, ah, too bad. But you know, I'm not upset about it. I'm not angry about it. It just did feel like maybe first book kind of thing, you know? So I'm interested in seeing how this writer evolves. You know? Um, so yeah, and like I wish there was a little bit more Thomas, the 18-month-year-old. Um, I was happy that like it wasn't like, oh, she's a single mom and then like the kid disappears and he's never really in the story. Like he's there. You know what I mean? So that's fine. I just want a little more of Thomas and Clint. I think that would have been a really cute moment. And I think if she, you know, watched them, like watch Clint and Thomas bond, then I think I would have gotten like the emotional connection the writer was trying to portray a little bit more. Like I'm telling you, it was like on the cusp, like just one more scene of something. You know what I mean? And it would have been there. So, yeah, I'm gonna check out this writer some more stuff. Yeah. So that's it for me. I don't want to, but it's time for me to get back to the real world. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.